All right, we are live. Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday evening, happy Monday morning, happy Sunday afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Hello, Graham.
Hey guys, how you doing?
So Maurizio and I were just having a chat before we come on air, and we've just decided everything will be okay. So everybody have a nice cup of tea, put your feet up, and everything's going to be absolutely fine. All right, let me just share screen then. I'm on just the laptop today,
Okay.
but I think we'll be just fine. Okay, so if you are watching this for the first time, or you're unsure about what to do, we have a section called Start Here. There's then this welcome section that's got a welcome post, and then it's got a series of separate posts. So we do these as separate posts because we'd really like you to make sure that you focus on these. So if you are new to crypto and you're happily clicking links, and there's every chance you'll get your wallet drained. So if somebody posts a Twitter link in the group, then this post is saying do that with a specific reason, and tell us the reason, not just this guy says the market's going to pump, right? So if you see somebody posting a Twitter link, don't click on it. Okay. Same with the private messages as well. So what happens is people buy the product so that they can get into the group, so that they can send you a direct message, so that they can get you to do something. Okay. None of us will ever do that. Okay. None of the team will ever do that. And if anybody ever does send you a direct message, you just report them there, report them to whatever support, and then we'll get rid of them. Okay. So the welcome post then, this really holds all the information that you need. It starts with your first trade. Okay, so we're not going to go through the welcome post. If you want to get the URL for the welcome post, you go up there and you just right click and then you copy it, and then when people say like, hey, I'm new, help me, then you can send them here if you if you want to help them. Because if people really don't know what an exchange is, and they don't know how to get fiat onto a crypto exchange, then all they've got to do is scroll down this until they reach the exchanges section. And then in that exchanges section, there is an exchanges guide, there's getting started guides, there's like everything that you could need to help you get going. Okay. So enough of the admin stuff. So I'm just sharing the one screen, so I need to stop sharing that one. See, this is more challenging with the.
I know that happened to me last time. I was on the laptop only, and I was all over the place, man. Yeah.
Now the price action's covered by your face, Maurizio. What's happening? I got to move you. All right. So this is looking at the you see all these things, they get in the way on the laptop, don't they? There we are. On the weekly, I'm just moving the bar that you can't see, so it looks like I'm just doing something crazy. So this is Bitcoin on the weekly then. And if we look at the story of Bitcoin, well, it's been a story of pump, reaccumulate, pump, reaccumulate, pump, reaccumulate. And we haven't had too many vicious price corrections. Like so far, this price correction that we've been going through, like it hasn't been dramatic. It's lasted quite a long time, but it hasn't been dramatic up until it was dramatic. Now, I'm sure that you could get out one of those fib retracement tools and put your 0 and your 1 up there, and then maybe that falls in the golden pocket, maybe it doesn't. But to me, this liquidity grab's a really good thing, because what happens if we don't have this is we just go, and we it's just like a balloon letting out air, and we just meander. So what would also be interesting here for those that are into technical analysis is you'd want to put on like the volume profile, and then you'd want to have a look at what the volume candle is to see if we've got like complete seller exhaustion. And the way you do that is to look back and see, you know, what were historical highs, what do they look like in volume when we have kind of seller exhaustion. So that's like two tools that you could use to look at this from like a technical analysis point of view. So the simplest way to look at this is, and I really do always try and dumb this down, right? You have a support and you have a resistance. And whenever price interacts with support or resistance, something happens. And it's that something happens that we're interested in. And what I'm interested in right now is not this big liquidity grab anymore. It's the fact that we closed above that red line. Had we weekly closed below that red line, even if you've got no technical analysis knowledge at all, and I was to say to you, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Right? You'd be like, well, I'm not sure, but it seems like a bad thing. It definitely would be. So is it a good thing that we weekly closed above that red line? Yep. Okay. And then let's see what happens this week. What would I like to see if I could just make the market do whatever I wanted, Uncle Donald? Is I'd like to see us get past this mid part of the range. Okay. Roughly the kind of mid part, the resistance. Okay. If we can get above this, then we can start challenging for these range highs again, where you see we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 wicks already. So we'd want to start to see this being a weakening resistance. And then eventually, you know, one or two things generally happens. One is we break out and we never look back. The other one that is really nice, if we get it perfectly technically correct, is that we break out, we retest, or we at least get a very good retest, deep retest intent, and then we kind of carry on from there, which of course will mean that Bitcoin dominance will increase, which means Bitcoin will be the hottest girl on campus, which means that alts are not going to go crazy. But the thing that I'll just hand you over to Maurizio is, this is the last thing that I hand to Maurizio, is look at the date, right? We're in the third month. So this month is going to see the quarterly. And then we get all kinds of information. We get all kinds of price action information from the quarterly. But more than that, if you keep an eye, like I do, I really don't read that much kind of nonsense, if you know what I mean. But if you think about it, most projects tend to give exciting news in the third quarter, so that, you know, things look nice and rosy for their end of quarter close. Because behind all these exciting coins is real companies, is people like Maurizio that are doing stuff, if you know what I mean. That's what's actually behind these coins, is real people and real projects doing real things with investors and backers. So this kind of, I'm excited for what could happen at the end of March. I am. Like, I think there could be a small window. If we get a good run with Bitcoin and then we get a little pullback from maybe from new all-time highs, there could be a tiny little altcoin window. But yeah, I'll park it there. I'm just full of rumor and conjecture.
Yeah, it's one of those things. When, right? When is it gonna happen? When is it gonna freaking happen? So, all right, let's go through a few things. So obviously, throughout the weekend, we had a very nice recovery of everything, right? So Richard just mentioned something very important, like when Uncle Donald keeps quiet. Yeah, it's one of those things that reminds me a while back. Don't know if you guys, I don't know how long you guys been in the crypto stuff, but back in the day, a couple of years ago, was the same. Like every time that Elon tweeted something about Dodge or stuff like that, market moved, right? But then obviously now that we have Mr. Donald just tweeting stuff back and forth, where he does have more weight. right? Like it does have a lot of decision making in the face. So, but that doesn't mean that we need to isolate the levels. Let me just share my screen and let me go through stuff that we did last week and what I'm watching this week. Can you see my screen now?
We can see your trading view.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Yeah, last week was I was talking about for like an hour, about like 10 minutes or something like that. All right, let's go through Bitcoin first, right? And let me just draw my levels back again. And all last week we were talking about these levels, right? So we have the Bybit. It was last Monday, right? We had the Bybit sort of hack and stuff like that. That happened over the 22nd. Bitcoin started losing the levels, right? Now, towards the end of the week, I was talking about this yellow line here. And what that yellow line is just a basic simple moving average on the daily, but it's the 200 EMA. All right. What that means, let me just, what that means is a lot of institutional trading make a lot of decisions when price are around this huge daily average. So it's a 200-day moving average, right? So essentially dictates, and what a moving average is, dictates the trend, right? If the moving average is going up, essentially we're trending up. If the moving average is going down, trend down, things like that, right? So I drew it there because let me just, if we were talking about only levels, which is the levels that I drew, and we were talking about that we were losing levels and levels and levels, we can actually see the weakness of Bitcoin going on. So when is it going to stop, right? And there was no levels between this one and this one, right? There was no level whatsoever in between. You can argue that it could be the middle of the range, whatever. But at the end of the day, I always, on my dailies, I have my 200 EMA. That's very helpful to gauge the price. And when, like, what was this? That was on Wednesday, and this was on Thursday. So on Thursday, Bitcoin was not able to reclaim. But then, funny enough, over the weekend, this bounced dramatically on this level. So what that means is we do have a low liquidity, a lot of buyers were looking to buy at that level, right? So essentially, if we have a look how the market reacted, but now I'm going to open, I'm going to show you the monthly, right? And let me just, and then let me just delete this one because that will be the 200 month. All right, so this is the monthly, which we just closed, like on Saturday, the new monthly candle started, right? And that started at this level here. So if you look at this from the monthly perspective, what do you guys think? Like, do you think this is bullish, bearish, ranging? What do you think from the monthly perspective looks like? Yeah, I agree. Definitely bullish, right? Even though, let's say from the monthly perspective, it drops even to this range here, which is the previous sort of highs, right? Still bullish. So essentially long term, yeah, we were, like I've been saying, we were sort of bullish. Every reaction on Trump news is going to be bullish. Now, what is the challenge? Obviously, from long-term perspective, it is, we might say there is a highly likelihood or a high probability that we can retest these highs here at 109, 110, give or take. Is that going to break out? Who knows? I think to break out, it needs another catalyst, like, Trump implementing the Bitcoin reserve, or US start buying like crazy, which it might happen, it might not. But the fact that he's announcing it, it might happen, right? So it's one of those things, okay? So, Cameron, exactly. That's another thing that I'm aware this week, which is the crypto week at the White House. So that should be an interesting week. We cannot actually know if it's going to be a good week or a bad week, but what I more than likely will say, we're going to have volatility. Any news can come out of that week, right? Like, oh no, now Trump is not buying it, or who knows, or whatever, and then market drops and things like that. Well, that's crypto, right? Highly volatile situation. So Joseph, have no idea. Is there any truth on BlackRock manipulation Bitcoin? Man, I have heard it. It's no way to prove it. It looks like these guys are buying a lot of Bitcoin over the counter. That doesn't affect the price. Who knows? Who knows? But there's in the books as well. So the interesting thing here, what I want to highlight is obviously the monthly, which it looks pretty solid. And if we look at all the charts like Ethereum, let's have a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum from the monthly perspective doesn't look like that bullish, right? Even though now it's trying to reclaim, but that's kind of the one that I'm looking quite closely, because now if let's say Bitcoin keeps going up, and I definitely want to see continuation on Ethereum, and Ethereum will have continuation on alts. However, if we look at Solana, right? Solana recovered quite well. Let me just put the SMA. 1 second. Just want to highlight something. All right. So Solana, right, it broke the 200 sort of deals. Just to give me a gauge, that doesn't mean that this is just an important level that people look at, right? And that's kind of what the indicators that I put, they're going to be helpful. So Solana, let me add the levels that we have for Solana. So last week we were talking about, let me open the daily. So we're still long on Solana. We bought Solana from Feb 2024. We're still holding it. It looks pretty good, right? And funny enough, look at how these levels played out, like the purple levels that we drew a while back, right? So we were saying that these levels will be good place to buy if would you buy here, right? So it's one of the things that it could be like, the closer you buy to the lower levels, the less risk, because at the end of the day, this loses the level, more than likely it's going to keep coming down. You can actually get out. So right now to start getting leverage positions is a little bit harder, right? Than when we actually get positions around here. You can start buying a spot, which is a different mindset completely, but then that's what has been challenging for the last 2 or 3 weeks to actually do leverage trading, right? Because where do you place the stops, and where, you know what I mean? Like this could actually come down here and come back in the same day. So that's kind of what is happening, right? A lot of volatility. So, but overall, markets looks pretty good, right? Definitely, if you look across the board, Solana, but obviously, what is it? Trump saying about the reserve, what coins are going to buy or whatever, XRP, ADA, Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. So obviously that actually could be one of the catalysts. Is this going to hold at these levels? That could be an interesting thing to see. The positive though is on the back of Solana's strength, because there is a lot of ecosystem going through Solana. So we could see a mini relief pump, which we were sort of saying last week that we were very close to it, and we are very close to it. Is this it? This looks like it, right? But then the only thing that I have to be aware of is this happened on a Sunday, low liquidity stuff, right? And funny enough, you have to ask yourself why why these announcements happen on a Sunday. So I want to see continuation on ETF inflows in order to actually start buying a little bit and make sure that we have continuation on that. So that's kind of my plan for this week. If we have a look at the Solana Bitcoin chart, we can now start seeing that Solana is sort of regaining strength, right? This is, let me just put all these lines here and on this so it has a little bit clearer. So the craziest run that we had last since November is when Solana was actually stronger than Bitcoin, right? So this is what I'm tracking. When this is still, like, if I ask you, what do you guys think about this chart? Do you think it's bullish or bearish? But what that means is, if it's bullish, it means Solana is the strongest at Bitcoin. If it is bearish, that means that Bitcoin is stronger than Solana. So neutral, yes. Bearish, yes. Yep. All right. So as you can see, it depends. Yeah, short, a little bit very smaller time frame, so to speak. But if you draw a line where the main level, and let me just delete this line here. So we are technically on the reclaim of this range again. Okay, we're still bullish, right, from the longer time perspective. But if I'm making this a little bit, let me show you the weekly, right? So on the weekly, we are getting into the bullish sort of aspect of it. So if we have continuation of Solana here, right, therefore all the ecosystem more than likely will have continuation, then we can actually start seeing a bunch of alts breaking out and things like that. That's kind of the plan that I'm tracking. So it's getting there. We had the positive news is obviously we sort of stopped here. Let's have a look at total 3, because that's another one that I want to show you. So total 3, right, which is, let me just make this just one chart. All right. So total 3, and let me show you from the monthly perspective where we at. Okay, because we just closed the monthly. So this is something that I really like to do on every monthly close, and we just had it over the weekend. So all right, so from the monthly perspective, right, basically it's following what Bitcoin is following, which is good. If I don't see continuation while Bitcoin is going up, then something that I'll be sort of thinking about, there is no continuation on alts. But that means is we're getting closer every time to a really good hectic run, I will say, right? Can we top up here? Definitely. That is another possibility, right? That alts basically will top up here again, and then we start driving down. Depends on how the macro stuff is going on with Trump and the reserve and things like that. But the fact that we can actually see, buying at those levels, it is quite promising. So that's on the back that. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. So S&P 500 looks pretty good. This is the monthly, by the way. Look at the weekly. Let's have a look at the weekly, right? So weekly, it is holding finally. We had a little bit of a sell-off last week, but it's looking pretty good. So, and this is daily. So daily, we have a little bit of a recovery. Once we start breaking high again on equities on the S&P 500, there is a high likelihood that Bitcoin will follow, and that could be our window. That could be a window of buying opportunities, start doing crazy stuff with leverage, which is fun. But one of the things with leverage is we usually wait until we have continuation on total 3. And at the moment, we don't. We are sort of reclaiming. Funny enough, look at this yellow line that I drew a while back. When did I draw this? Tuesday. Yeah. So, these levels are quite important. Like Ian was mentioning, and it's basically where everybody's looking at to either buy or sell. So buying in the middle is quite hard, because you don't know when you're wrong, or you don't know where the market is going to go. But then on continuation, then I can definitely see alts going to the next level here, right? And we have a few things going on this week that might be catalyst for that, right? Which is the week of Trump. So yeah, markets looks pretty good, man. Like, you know, I wish I was trading yesterday. You know, yesterday wouldn't be a really good place to start some trades. But it is what it is. And then we had a really good close today. Let's see how much of a retracement we will have. So why I want to see the retracements? Because I might, on continuation, I want to start getting position on some stuff that I've been watching for the whole week. So if we have a look at Bitcoin, let me just draw my lines here. Right. Oh yeah. There you go. Okay. So this green line here, right, this level of 92, it looks like it could be a really good retracement level, right? So probably I want to see that Bitcoin does not break below this, and that will provide us a really good retrace to get into the stronger alts. So how do we find the stronger alts at the moment? And you have to be aware that some of these ones might just go up to the highs and then drop, right? So this is the spaghetti chart, right? I did show you how to do these ones last week in a couple of videos that I did. If not, I can redo a video or something. But this is the hourly chart. I just want to see the big picture from the beginning of the month, right? So this is the beginning of the month, right? The big white line here, right, is obviously Bitcoin, but this is pretty much all the alts, right? So what's the strongest thing here, man? ALCH. I did talk about it during the week. I did not go in. Your market was quiet, but this thing is just going nuts. ALCH is like an AI sort of code-based platform. I looked into it. Yeah, it's one of those things that this one, you know, could keep going. Who knows? But then you can start seeing what is outperforming Bitcoin, right? So what's outperforming Bitcoin from the low, which happened. Oh, sorry. Yeah. No. This is today's Monday open. Yep. So you can see there's a few things that start popping up. So we have Cerebro back again, which is good. We have this one that is outperforming Degen. The Degen network has been a while. We have this one here, which is Badger. A lot of different stuff that I want to make sure that they're not sort of pumps and dumps. But this is a highly likelihood idea. Like it gives you an idea what's actually above Bitcoin. And usually when we have a lot of the alts season or a lot of the alts pumping is when we have this performance like this, right? When we have a lot of the alts actually going stronger than Bitcoin. Okay, so 1 second, just close the door. My dog, once again. All right. So with that being said, I'm looking at a few things for this week. So let me just show you. So obviously, first of all, I wanna see the price action of the XRP, Solana, and ADA Cardano, which is the one that yep was highlighted on the news. So essentially, right, this thing went nuts and went up 71%, right, in 1 day, Cardano, based on, can you time this one? Pretty hard, right? But then obviously you were like following the tweets and things like that. This could be an interesting trade, right? From a different perspective. So would you buy it right here, right, on continuation, or would you sell here? Like, what would you be? I just want to hear your thoughts in terms of what do you guys think in terms of all these coins that that ADA XRP. So buy ADA at 1.35 on breakout, short ADA. Yep. Oh, no, it's not a bad idea to short it. Right. So we have a mix of things like shorted, shorted, shorted. Some people will short it. So all right. Trick of this is that let me just open up like smaller time frames sort of deal. This is the 6 hours chart. Definitely what I want to see is continuation, right? So you will see these sell-offs happening here. And it's not a bad idea to short it, right? But then how far this is going to go. And that's the trick of shorting stuff, right? And if you expect to, I don't expect this one to die completely. Why? There's a few things, obviously, on-chain metrics. I've been tracking ADA for a while, and on-chain metrics is actually going a little bit out of the ordinary. So this was on my list. So I really want to buy this one, but then I wouldn't do any short-time trading or anything like that. This could be a spot hold for, and this could give you on any news. You can actually see how this one reacts. So I'm actually looking to get what are the main levels, right? All right. So I think that gives you a good idea. And obviously we had these top ups here. So on a break, definitely this could keep going, right? How far it could keep going? If we go by price action only, right? Let's have a look at the monthly on this one, right? So let's have a look at the monthly here. And let me just make this straight. Drives me crazy. All right. All right. And this one will happen here. Okay. So monthly wise, right? We still are very like we're still not trending, right? Essentially, but at some point, if this breaks above this line here, which is the 1.18 level, give it a take, there is a highly likelihood that it will get continuation and it will do what every crypto does that goes up, down, and then does the the hyperbolic sort of thing. And then obviously a psychological place will be around $3. Will that get it? Who knows? This is a very old coin, but the fact that it's being recovered by Trump, I think there is a highly, yeah, it could be an interesting buy, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking for on ADA. XRP, Scott's favorite. Let's have a look at XRP. Man, I have no thoughts on this one, to be honest. Like, I have no thoughts, but the fact that you cannot actually deny price action on this thing, man. You can't. It's one of those things. So obviously, first sort of continuation could happen there. Then we have another level around here. How the market will behave, around this level will be interesting, right? So I'm following these ones, right, in terms of what they have. The tweet and things like that, all the stuff that's going to happen on Friday, so yeah, it could get a little bit choppy, right? So I'm planning for both scenarios, right? I'm planning for taking some trades to the upside. I'm planning to take some trades on the downside, right? Let's go through stuff that I'm watching as well, because I've been watching Say and Move since last week, and the reason why is the World Liberty Fund, which I think I shared with you guys the wallet that they use to actually buy stuff, and they did buy Say and they did buy Move. Okay, they both these ones. So the interesting thing is on when we had the dump, just make this bigger. When we had the dump last week, this one didn't drop much, but it's sort of like being forgotten in a way, right? But we had a really nice continuation on Sunday. So this one is the one that I will perhaps do a little bit of leverage, right? And obviously probably stop losses below here or below here, depends on how price action goes. But this is the one that I'm looking very closely, say, and move is the same thing. So move, funny enough, as you can see, these levels, how these levels played out, I want to see continuation of break structure, probably get a nice trade on continuation to the upside if that happens. So that's kind of my ideas, right, for these ones that I've been tracking for a while. Obviously, I was like Jito, Ina, Jube could be a really good trade on the back of Solana going strong. So definitely tracking this one. This one, you can actually see that reclaim now this level here. So yeah, I'll be tracking. This one will go very, very quick to the upside if Solana has continuations as well. So yeah, that this I'm tracking a lot of different ones, man. Like when market are interested, like having the list of the stuff that you want to buy is quite handy, because otherwise everything is going up. Everything will go up technically, right? But then which ones are the ones that you have the most conviction on? So this is the ones that I'm tracking closely. Let's have a look at the OP. We went long no OP with leverage, right, last week. So reason why I did a really wide stop loss is just I knew the possibilities, of Bitcoin dropping. Funny enough, this one actually didn't hit the lows. So that gives me a little bit more confidence. So we're still a little bit on a drawdown, but this one is it's looking quite good, to be honest. Why? If you think from the technical perspective, let me just make this bigger, right? I was aiming, like I was hoping, or not hoping, I was like front running the breakout, right? The breakout did not happen, and actually we had a retracement, and Bitcoin and everything went down. But the interesting thing is this one did not hit the lows, right? Other coins like Solana, XRP, let me show you Solana, for instance. So Solana, it hit the lows basically and then bounce, right? And then bounce. So the interesting thing about OP is that it held up pretty good. So I'm aiming towards this area here to take my first profits. But I'm actually thinking of adding more with a shorter, like with a smaller time frame, but with a smaller sort of stop loss. So I will add more into my position perhaps. So that's the one that I'm tracking. And on the back of Ethereum going nuts. So if I follow Ethereum, and if Ethereum starts breaking up, then I'm tracking LDO. We did get a really nice trade like a while back on the LDO, but LDO, it could do really well on the back of Ethereum going up. So this could be, and as you can see here, we might have like what we call a retest, an RTC and RTV setting up. So it could be a really good trade around these levels. So those are the ones that I'm tracking closely, for sort of medium term trading, right? So obviously I don't do a lot of short trading with you guys because it could be quite fast, right? And then you need to execute quite quickly. So yeah. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, guys. Like it looks okay. It looks okay, but I cannot actually rule out that we might have a little bit of a drop. So if we have a little bit of a drop on Bitcoin, what I am looking to short, right? Because I do have some shorts that I'm looking. The first one is Kato. Okay, so Kato is been in my radar to short because this is an airdropped coin that happened. It looks like a lot of people have not sold yet, but the interesting, it held up pretty good. I thought that this one was going to go like pretty down. However, on a second sort of leg down for Bitcoin, this one could be an interesting short. It could be an interesting short. So I'm looking for that one as well. I'm looking for short as well. Where's the other one? Bera. So Bera, was listed on the 6th of Feb. right? Give or take, and then hasn't been able to break that level, okay? It looks like he wants to break. On any weakness, they could be an interesting short on this one, hitting these levels here back to 6.5, something like that. But this is stuff that I'm sort of tracking long and short, right? If I wanna sort of, you know, play both, because this is like, yeah, still very bullish, but cognizant of some you know, price action sort of ranging or sort of short-term sort of bounce. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And obviously hype is actually bottoming here pretty good, right? I'm looking for a leverage position on hype. I'm still holding hype. I keep buying more on spot, but then I want to get some interesting leverage stuff on this one. Okay, so man, looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So let's see what happens this week. It's going to be an interesting week, man. It's going to be an interesting week. So let's go through some questions. So, just, yeah, let me know if you guys have some questions or something else that you want to know, or another coin that you want to look into it. Dana, why does my FinRev go down when the market goes up, and it goes up when the market goes down? So far, 3 months, FinRev seems to be down. Yeah, so remember the FinRev makes decisions on a forecasting methodology, a quant-based methodology. So essentially, when we're trending, when FinRev does great, right, to the upside or to the downside. When we have a lot of these pullbacks abruptly, right, because FinRev does decisions on a daily basis, then we're gonna get some drawdowns. So that's kind of the reason. Bear in mind that FinRev is a trending system that happens on a daily basis. So due to the volatility, that when things that happen quite quickly, up or down, then that's when you get that. Okay. Dodge. Okay, sorry. So Kim, if buying sold on spot, would you buy now or wait for a retest and have a look? Good question. The fact that obviously I've been in sold for a while, but if I did not have any Solana, let's have a look. Where will be the place to buy? It's a tough one, right? Tough one because you're in the middle of the range right here. If you're doing a spot, you know, I could start buying here. Like I'd say last week, you start buying here, but then if it drops, then you add more, and then you know what I mean. Like you sort of split your position size into 3 or 4, right? But then you have to have at some point a level that you're not willing to add or something. So that will be probably the best way without going into so much technical analysis. Like definitely Solana looks great, right? But then is this going to hold here, or are we going to retest probably around this level here? So the best approach when you're actually doing with the spot is that you buy, like, let's say you want to buy, well, first of all, let's say that you have a, I don't know, capital portfolio of $5,000, right? First of all, you have to make sure how would you split that $5,000 into. You know, you don't want to sort of put everything into Solana, or, well, I know some people that they like really Solana and they do that only, and then that's fine. But, you know, if you split the $5,000 into, let's say 10 positions or 5, right? Let's say if you go by 10, so it gives like $500 per position, right? Now you have $500 that you can split out into several sort of scenarios, right? Scenario number 1, you buy here, expecting that the price goes up. If price goes up, then I will definitely add more at 200, right? Or vice versa. You know, you buy here, expecting of whatever it happened, and the price goes down, then I add more. You know what I mean? That's kind of probably the probabilities. But make sure that you have a structure in terms of how much money you're going, how many coins you're going to allocate into, and that would be the best way. Hope that answers your questions, man. Retario. Let's have a look at Retario. I haven't looked at Retario for a while. this one. Yeah. So obviously Retardio is going to be a mechanism of Solana as well. So on the strength of Solana, then definitely it's gonna help out. So if you have a look at what Solana is doing, right? Then on the strength here, let me just give me 1 second. I talk to when not. Give me 1 second. Sorry. All right, I'm back. Sorry. My apologies. Love the dog sometimes. It goes crazy, man. Like really crazy. All right. So if we have a look at Retardio, it looks like it's breaking structure. Definitely, it looks like on the gain on this break structure, there's a highly likelihood that we're going to retest these highs here, these levels here. How much are they? From here to here, we have 40%, and we have another 228% to the upside. So yeah, Retardio is always like, we've been playing Retardio for a while, man, and on any strain, this one keeps showing resilience. So definitely, I really like it. I still have a little bit of Retardio left, right? So would I buy more? Maybe. Yeah, definitely. That could be a really good place to buy. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Dodge. Let's have a look. Dodge. Still on it, by the way. Yeah, it's not first trade, but we picked up Dodge on leverage around here. That was last year. Let's have a look. Dodge. Let me delete this. Okay. So yeah, I can see, like, if you see all these alts, everything, we had a lot of this the week down. This is the liquidation event that happened at the beginning of Feb. So these liquidation events, usually they open gaps, right? And I talked about it last week in terms of gaps. So what we had here is that we had a filled gap, okay, on Dodge. So you can actually see it, man. It's so clear, right? But then obviously people try to buy here. You get some more liquidity grabs around here. So Dodge looks pretty good, man. It looks pretty good. What I don't like, it wasn't able to break the structure here. So we might retest this. So just on the daily, if you want to add more, you want to buy again, right? Then probably around this, I will buy for a perfect entry on leverage. If you're not worried about leverage and stuff like that, I can definitely start buying spot right here. It looks pretty strong, man. And yeah, Dodge could definitely, especially on the back of Elon Musk. And yeah, we're still holding the Dodge, by the way. So you can definitely buy without any sort of technicals and stuff like that. All right, so let's do the last one. When do you short? Do you always look for positive carry as a requirement? No, I don't. Because the positive carry or negative carry could be leading, but it could be lagging as well. You know what I mean? So what I do look for shorting is open interest. That's definitely something that will look in terms of shorting. So for instance, let's have a look at Bera, right? So I want to short this thing, right? Another one that I want to short, but it could be so volatile. Even though we hold a little bit, I do want to. But let me show you what I mean in terms of Bera. So you load. Where is it? Here. You load Velo data, right? And let's have a look at Bera. All right, and so whenever I want to short, I want to make sure, so I have a higher time frame here and I have a lower time frame. You can do 5 minutes or half an hour, whatever. But this is the stuff that I'm looking for. So that open interest, if it goes with the market, that means the market is being sustained by the positions that contracts are being open, right? So for instance, market is going up, open interest is going up. So more than likely, market is driven by open interest or perpetual futures sort of trading, right? When you start seeing this right here, the loss of the open interest, what that means is a lot of positions have been sort of closed. It means that people that are trading on perpetual futures are closing their positions. If the price does not hold up, that means people on spot are not buying. Therefore, we have a likelihood of this thing coming down, right? I hope that makes sense in a way, right? Just kind of. So what I'm looking for in terms of buying, shorting, if I don't see any follow through on this, which is not happening, as you can see, you can start seeing that the price is going up, but the open interest is not going as high. So if we start seeing another close positions here, then it could be a really good short. Like, yeah, that obviously manage your stops correctly and things like that, manage your size. This could get volatile, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. Oh, sorry, this is better. Oh, yeah, this is better. Why this one is not there? Let me load there in 55 minutes so I can. Yeah, and open interest works really well on very small time frames, right? So if you want to short this thing, you can actually see there was a huge influx here on open interest. Price went up, but it did not manage to break above. People start closing positions. That could be a really good short. But then obviously small time frames works much better. How far, if you're here 24/7 watching the markets, maybe. But yeah. So I think what time is it? I think that's it. Sorry guys, I couldn't go through all the questions, but I think we already covered OP. Let me have a look at Tau. Yes, someone mentioned Tau because I want to.
Nice. Did you want to show your daily updates if you've got the group open? If you haven't got the group open, don't worry. Just talk about when you drop your daily updates, where you
Fair
drop them,
enough.
and roughly what's in them.
All right, sweet. Yeah, let me finish with Tau. So with Tau, yeah, let me add. I'm definitely tracking this one. So Tau looks pretty good. The only thing that I don't like is obviously hasn't been able to break structure. So it's still, sort of, and I'm talking, buying on leverage, guys. And obviously, because that's what I'm looking for. That's what most of the gains I have, because spot, yeah, you can start buying Tau in spot, no problem. Well, there is a high likelihood that this will hold. But what I'm trying to time is having good sort of stop and size properly, so I can gain the momentum to the upside. It looks like he wants to break, but I'm still holding this one. But if you want to buy spot, it looks pretty good. Like you can actually see it from the liquidation event that happened. It is holding that level. It hasn't even been. It wasn't able to actually fill that gap either. Same thing with OP, kind of the same behavior. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Tau. So yeah, so for like I do these updates every day. I usually post it on the community chat. I don't have it open. Let me just open it up in 1 second. And then, well, essentially like during the day close, yeah, 1 hour or 2 hours after the day close, right? Then I'll do the update. Sometimes I'll do it in an hour. Sometimes I'll do it in 2 hours. Depends on how the market is behaving. And I do it on a daily basis, looking for what the market is doing, what are the levels that I'm looking to buy or sell or whatever. So that's kind of where I'm, where I post it pretty much every single day. Let me open. Oh yeah, I have it over here. So
That's all good, man.
okay.
I got to run, Maurizio.
That's cool. No
Yeah,
worries.
I got to end the call. So yeah,
Okay, that's
I'm,
cool.
all right, dude. Thanks a lot. Great
All
call.
right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good day.